The following is a presentation of the Redskins Broadcast Network.
Welcome to Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael here at Redskins Park. Each week, Redskins Chronicles takes a look at a piece of this team's storied legacy, and today, a sit-down with former Redskins running back, the great Ricky Ervins. Before we hear from Ricky Ervins, Redskins have a matchup on Sunday in Oakland, a 4:25 kickoff, the Raiders hosting the Redskins. Raiders are 1-2 after losing to Denver on Monday night. The Redskins, of course, still looking for their first win of the year. Another tough one last week as the Redskins hosted the Detroit Lions at FedExField. Let's take a look at the highlights, brought to you by Ameritel.
Here comes heat off the edge from Kerrigan. He gets hit and sacked from behind on the first play of the game. The captain, London Fletcher, in there, and he gets him. Stafford, quick slant, it's intercepted, picked off D'Angelo Hall inside the 10. Nice move, he's going to go. The playmaker does it. Touchdown! Touchdown, Redskins. D'Angelo Hall with the pick six. He takes it, heat over the middle, dumps it off to Joik Bell, makes a catch across the 25-30, open field 35 to the 40, up to the 50-yard line in the Redskins territory at the 48. Flag behind the line of scrimmage. What's the call at Hockey League?
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 56.
The Redskins 12-yard line, takes a snap, gives it inside to Bell. There's a hole there across the 10, breaks a tackle at the 5, and he goes into the end zone. Throws it up middle of Boyles, caught at the 40. Breaks through the 35 down to the 34. It's another Detroit first down. Throwing to the end zone. It is caught. It is a touchdown. Handoff up the middle. Alfred Morris breaks it to the right side to the 25, 20, 15, 10. Inside the 5. It's a touchdown. Alfred Morris all the way. Over the middle. It is caught by Burleson. And he's across the 50 to the 45 to the 30. And he's driven out of bounds by the safety, Brandon Merriweather. And the Lions are in field goal range here. The kick is on the way, and it's good. Play action fake, Robert looking, going down the left side for Garcon. Caught at the 30-yard line and driven out of bounds. Boy, he put that right on the money, Sonny. This one from 44 yards out is on the way. Plenty of leg, and he delivers to give the Lions the lead with 11:13 to play. The snap, the spot, the kick is up. And Akers, good. Stafford looking for Johnson, fires in the middle, it is caught, spins into the end zone, through coverage, touchdown, Calvin Johnson. Kick by Potter is up, and it's good. Robert takes the snap, wheels to the left, steps, throws it, gets it to the end zone, looking for Garcon, it's deflected, incomplete, game over.
That's how it went last Sunday. It was the Lions' first win ever in Washington, D.C. The Skins 0-3 for the first time since 2001. And while Robert Griffin III in the offense showing some improvement, they really need a win. That's what they need. Earlier this week, RG3 met the media, and here is part of what he had to say.
But I'm curious if this is one of the more trying starts to a season for you, not just because the team's not winning, but because you're constantly under the microscope. And how do you think it's been?
It's adversity, and it is one of the more trying things you have to go through. But you have to know where your faith is, and I have a lot of faith in this football team. You know, a lot of faith in my teammates, coaches, faith in God, and He's going to bring us through this. And all we have to do is do our part. So as long as we show up here every day with the right attitude, I mean, no one's going to feel sorry for us in the NFL. No one's going to come pat us on the back and say, hey, here's a win. We have to go out and take it. So, you know, all that stuff being said, you know, I think everybody has the right attitude. You still have to go out and enjoy life. And we want to start winning. And it starts this week against Oakland. So we go into this bye week with a good feeling and come out of it, you know, ready to go on a tear.
All right, more on the Redskins and Oakland game coming up tomorrow later in this edition of Redskins Chronicles. Each week right here on Redskins Chronicles, we take a look at this team's storied history from the men who played the game. And coming up next, Amanda Mitchell and Redskins historian Mike Richman sit down with former Redskin running back Ricky Ervins. Redskins Chronicles.
Welcome back to Redskins Chronicles. I'm Amanda Mitchell here with Redskins historian Mike Richman, and we're joined by the one and only Ricky Ervins. Ricky, thank you for coming today. How are you?
It's a pleasure. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Hey, Ricky.
So what have you been up to since you were a Redskin?
Wow, quite a bit. Right now I have a business. I train people. I play golf all the time. Pretty much it, golf and just training.
So we know that you're still very physically active. How did it all begin? Let's talk about the beginning. We know you're from, is it Pasadena, California?
You have it, the one and only. You got to thank my mother for putting me in football. She's the one who got me started. I was born in Indiana, lived with my father, and I was a baseball guy then. When I moved to California in 1980, when I was 10, my mother said, "You playing football?" I was like, "Nah, my father don't want me to play." "Well, your father's not here. You're here with me, so you playing football." And ever since then, I've been playing football.
So you ended up with a scholarship, a football scholarship, though, to USC.
Yes, and I also had one in track too. That's how good I became in track. But yeah, I had no thoughts of getting a scholarship. I just started playing. I had a great year. My freshman year, sophomore year, I started varsity. I started fullback. Then my junior year, I was a junior state player. And then my senior year, and no one knows this, but I actually quit for about a week and a half because I was just tired. Yeah.
So what got you back?
Well, the coach who got me to run track, he kept, talking to me. And I was missing my guys. I just needed a break because every single day, my high school career was the hardest of my life. The Coach Brownfield that we had was so strict. He was the man, but, I just needed a break. Every time we have a half a day, when we practice it, you see guys going home. You see us on the field just like, oh, man, look at everybody going home. Everybody in their cars, having fun. It's 12 o'clock. We're going to be there till 5 o'clock. So it's just like, oh, man, I'm just tired, doing the same old thing. And once I had that break, I said, I'm not going to practice. And it felt good just to go home. But after a while, I was like, okay, it's getting a little boring out here.
I was wondering, could you take us through your college football career? I know you.
Yes. Freshman year, when we finally get there, this is a crazy story because I'm 5'7", about 169 at the time. All the freshmen come in. We get a chance to meet all the big guys, right? We go into our individual meeting rooms with the running backs. And the coach comes in there and says, hey, our players no favoritisms. This is how you talk. Our players no favoritism. All y'all's equals. He had on the depth chart Ryan Knight / Stephen Webster. Then he had Lockwood by himself, freshman. Holmes, Hopkins by themselves. I'm looking for my name. Then they go over to fullbacks. Remind you, I'm 5'7", 169. Holt, Gadget, Spears, Brown, Ervins. And once he said that, he came over to me. See, son, I seen you play fullback. I knows what you can do. And I'm going to myself in my head. That's when I was a sophomore in high school. So I said, oh, man, here I go again with this political stuff. And then all of a sudden we're in a scrimmage. And I'm with the third team, and they called ISO, which I got to hit the guy. But I got to do it because, I got to prove to these guys that being this small, I'm here for a reason. I go in there, I hit him like that, and he just broke me down, pushed me to the side, and made the tackle. My coach, Coach Shellman, flew over here. Son, chop them legs, cut them legs. We cut up here. What you doing? I had no clue because in high school you can't cut. Once he said that, though, it made my job so much easier. So now when I go in the block, I go up, last minute, I cut their legs out. So now I'm feeling better. But once they gave me the ball at like a fullback trap, it was all she wrote because I broke it every time. So now they're going like, I think we might have made a bad decision. So the first game comes, we play Michigan State on national TV. I'm second string fullback. I worked my way up from being last string to second string.
So Ricky, I'm going to have to stop you there. When you got to second string, we definitely want to hear more about your USC career. We'll be back with Ricky Ervins, Redskins great, when Redskins Chronicles returns. And we're back. Redskins Chronicles joined now by the one and only Mike Richman and Redskins great Ricky Ervins. Now, Ricky, we were just talking about how you moved up to second string at USC.
Okay, well, I moved up to second string fullback. After that Michigan State game, they put me back at tailback, and then ever since then, I've been, working hard, trying to get back in the limelight. Sophomore year came around real quick, and I was a starter my sophomore year, and then we started doing a running back by committee. My junior year, I was the starter. I started the whole season, became the MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. Then I got hurt my second No, my 4th game in my senior year against Ohio State. And then that was it.
So I saw the tape, and Mike mentioned it, you actually winning the Rose Bowl against Michigan.
Yeah.
I watched that video. You were high-stepping in the end zone. Your teammates jumped all over you. What were you thinking at that point, and did you know you were going to the NFL?
That's my hometown, Pasadena. So for me to score the winning touchdown, to get the MVP, is like a storybook.
You're drafted by the Redskins in 1991. What a season for the Skins, 14-2 in the regular season. I mean, what more could you ask for as a rookie in the NFL?
Oh, my God. Me coming here, it's like I got to prove myself all over again. You know, I got here in 91. It's a funny thing because once you get drafted, you fly in the next day. I get a chance to meet all the players, and but now I got to prove to myself again that I can play in this level.
Well, you say you have to prove yourself all over again. What was training camp like?
Hot, sticky, muggy. I'm not used to this West Coast, this East Coast weather. So in California, I always wear all my pads. And so in the NFL, you think it's hard hitting. College is cool, but in the NFL, they hit even harder. So I had hip pads, butt pads. I had my big old pads I had from college. And Brian Mitchell said, "Boy, what you doing? You taking all that off?" I said, "No, I'm not. This is what I do at USC." "Nah, trust me. Second practice, you won't wear none of that." Yeah, whatever. Second practice, I had small pads right here. I had thin hip pads because it was so hot I couldn't breathe. Go ahead.
Now, speaking of Brian Mitchell, was he one of your mentors that year? You had Ernest Biner, Brian Mitchell.
Actually, EB was my mentor. And another funny thing is that when I come in, I kind of measure people up. So when I came in for minicamp, I'm looking at my running backs. I'm trying to figure out who I got to beat out. And so at the time, I thought Ernest Biner was a coach because he had this beard, had glasses on, and he looked too old. So I'm looking at other guys. Okay. I see Joe Riggs. He too big. I beat him. I ain't worried about him. I see Danny Copeland. He too long. And on the football field, when he started running in minicamp, he ran too long, elongated. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't worried about him. Then I see B. Mitch. You know, he was young, energetic, and he was just kind of wild. I was like, okay. I'm at the tussle with him a little bit. I said, okay. And all of a sudden, Ernest comes out. I'm like, oh, you a player? He's like, oh, yeah. We go out there, do one-on-ones against their linebackers. Monty Coleman was the linebacker. EB started it off. I'm like, why is he starting it off? Now, I didn't know EB played for Cleveland because I didn't know. I was so naive about players switching teams. I just knew that number 44 for Cleveland fumbled the ball, but he had a great game. So he goes out there and does this little route on Monty Coleman, and I was like, oh, my God. That was nasty. I'm like, hey, man, how old are you? He's like, so from that point on, I started watching him, everything he did, everything he did.
That must have played into your rookie season that year. 680 yards rushing. It was a great year for you. And when you think back on that year, a Super Bowl victory as a rookie, what goes through your mind?
Well, you know, that year was magical because we won just about every game. We were 11-0. So it was just like, you know, college to me a little bit. I won all the time in college. So when I got here to the NFL, I said, this is easy. And Monty Coleman going like, Rick, it's not like this all the time. I said, man, we okay. So it just felt, even in the Super Bowl, when we played that game, it felt like another game to me. Because, again, it's not played in Miami where you got all the festivities outside. It was in Minnesota. It's snow out there, so you can't go outside. You're indoors. So it just felt like another game to me. And it didn't hit me till afterwards when you sit back and you watch TV a little bit, you read newspapers, like, oh, we won the big thing, the big dance. But that season was just magical. It's like, it's supposed to be this way. We're Redskins.
Right. So you talked a lot about players that were a big influence on you. You went through a transition of coaches as a Redskin. Talk to me about those coaches.
Wow. Well, I had 2 years with Gibbs, one with Pettibone and one with Turner.
Who was your favorite?
Oh, come on now. The man behind you right there.
There you go.
Coach Gibbs.
Had to ask
because,
the
you know, he was a legend. And when you grow, I'm going to say it, I grew up a Cowboys fan, you know, being in California. So I love Tom Landry and Gibbs. To me, they was, you know, big-time foes. So when I got here and I saw Coach Gibbs, I'm like, oh, man, that's the glasses. That's Coach. That's the man right there. You know, you see him on the sideline. And I was kind of scared to speak to him. You know, but when I spoke to him, man, he was just so genuine, so nice. I'm like, wow, this guy's really cool. And so to play for him was an honor to me. And the great thing about Coach Gibbs that the other coaches couldn't do is that whenever we down at halftime, he knows how to make adjustments. And he knows how to make you believe those adjustments are going to work. So when we go in halftime, they come out there in this room, all of a sudden, boom, they bust out on the board. We're going to do this right here. We're going to run a gun. It's like, you like this. Okay, all right, let's go do it. And it works. He knows how to adjust.
Now, Ricky, you talked about 1991. Great season. Do you consider that your favorite season?
Well, yeah. In NFL, yes. Because, we won 11 games. Well, actually, we won 14 games. I like to say we won more games than that, like 15. Because when we played the Eagles, he took all the starters out. We beat them like 18-zip. Then he take all the starters out. And that's how they won the game. So I still count that game. It's an asterisk behind that game. So I don't count the loss. But no, that was a magical year, man. I mean, anytime you get a Super Bowl, it has to be the best year.
Well, we have some highlights from 1991, so let's take a look at those now.
The Redskins were showcasing 3 first-class running backs. Gerald Riggs and Ernest Biner each scored touchdowns. But the star of this show was rookie Ricky Ervins.
Looking at the middle now, breaks it out, right tackle to the 40. 55, goodbye! 65 yards for Ricky Ervins.
Ervins scored twice and rushed for 133 yards, and he would play a major role in Washington's most important regular season game of the year against New York.
All about having fun. This is it. That's what the game's about. Time to have fun.
In the first half, the 7-0 Redskins had no fun. They gained just 35 yards as everything they tried came up painfully empty. But in the second half, Joe Gibbs made an adjustment. He turned to Ricky Ervins, and behind the Hogs, the 5'7" fireplug found plenty of room up the gut. He rushed for nearly 100 yards, while Mark Rippon showed faith in Gary Clark and went back to him twice for scores.
Rolling out to the near side is Rippon, who steps up and throws it long for Clark at the 5, grabs it, touchdown, Washington Redskins. Gary Clark with a big one.
What was it like running behind the Hogs? I mean, that must have been, it obviously was an opportunity that not many running backs enjoy.
Yeah, well, me, I just like big linemen, period. When I was in high school, I didn't have a big line. USC had a big line, but here you see Big Joe Jacoby and all these guys, man, and just how hard they work. I couldn't wait to get behind them.
Regarding current day running backs, talk about the job that Alfred Morris did in his rookie season.
This guy right here is an old-fashioned running back. He is a guy carved out from the 70s, put into 2012. I mean, the guy runs hard. I mean, he's a no-nonsense guy, straight ahead, north and south. I love his attitude. And I love what he does after the game, when he scores a touchdown, because he dedicates that to his baseball guys that he spoke to. And he's not showboating. He's just like, when I score a touchdown, I'm going to hit a home run for you guys and let you know that I'm thinking of you guys.
Ricky, we're going to have to break, but thank you so much for being with us. We'll hear a little bit more about the Redskins, what the Redskins are up to this week when Redskins Chronicles returns.
Welcome back to Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael at Redskins Park. A 4:25 kickoff coming up on Sunday in Oakland. The Raiders hosting the Redskins. This will be the 13th meeting between these two teams. The last 2 times in Oakland, the Redskins were victorious back in 2009 and way back in 1998. Now, the most famous meeting between these two teams happened, of course, in Super Bowl XVIII when the then LA Raiders defeated the Redskins for the championship. Now, so far this year, Oakland has sputtered, losing a close one in Indianapolis week 1, defeating Jacksonville at home week 2, and then getting victimized by Peyton Manning on Monday night. Oakland has a mobile QB, the former Ohio State Buckeye Terrell Pryor. He's also got a pretty good arm, doesn't he? The running back Darren McFadden, when healthy, is an outstanding back, and he showed last game against the Broncos he also has a pretty good arm. Despite Manning's aerial assault, Oakland's defense is stout up front. It'll be a challenge for the Redskins running game on Sunday. Redskins looking for a win in Oakland. Here's some thoughts from head coach Mike Shanahan.
Coach, what are some of the challenges of playing at Oakland? We know the field is also a baseball field, and we know about their eccentric, to say the least, fans. What do you tell your guys?
You don't say anything. I know that better than anybody, by the way. I've got first-hand experience out there, quite a few years. I don't think you do anything. Baseball field, it takes a while for the kickers to get used to. Receivers will go out there and get adjusted. It is a different type of atmosphere for a kicker because they're not used to kicking off that infield. So you got to make a decision in pregame, exactly how they're kicking, and then make decisions during the game.
Head coach Mike Shanahan and the Redskins looking for that elusive first win of the year Sunday in Oakland. Thank you so much for watching Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael. We'll see you right here next week.